Hi guys, it's Laura from How to Get Your Shit Together, and in this video I am showing you how I KonMari'd my kitchen. Again. When I decluttered this space the first time around, I found it particularly tricky because it was the first shared space that I tackled. I had to revert to my husband for a lot of things. Progress was slow. This year it was a lot quicker, but still not without its difficulties. I'll share what I learned, including one way in which Marie Kondo is totally and utterly wrong, and the lessons I learned, what advice I would give, and the answer you've all been waiting for: how many bottles of Tabasco sauce we have left. Let's go! I should say that I started tackling the kitchen the day after my grand's funeral, so I wasn't really feeling any sort of joy at all. I was very tired, very drained, very emotional, had very little appetite, but I wanted to keep busy. It also meant that I hadn't done a food shop in a while, so there was a lot less there than there normally would be. And also, while I was away for the few days, a lot of food went off. I guess it made the job of getting rid of things a little bit easier for me, but it also meant that I got rid of much more than I would have under normal circumstances. I did it over 2 days. Technically, I could have done it in one, but like I said, tired and emotional. I'll quickly walk you through it and then talk about the challenges and the lessons learned. I started with the fridge, but because I was still in a bit of a haze, I completely forgot to take a before picture of the contents of the fridge, but I did take a picture once they were all out and on the kitchen counter, so that kind of counts, right? While everything was out of the fridge, I pulled out all of the shelves and drawers and everything. I washed those, I wiped down the inside of the fridge, and then I started decluttering. So I got rid of things that didn't spark joy, I categorized what was left, and then I put them all back. And the whole process took me about 45 minutes, which, you know, isn't bad. I hate cleaning out the fridge, so I am so glad that that is done for another while. I got rid of about 40% of the food that was in the fridge. Now, like I said, I was away for a few days, so that's probably kind of artificially high, but really probably not that much. It also helped that my husband said that I could get rid of anything that was in there that was out of date. I won't do it with any other food, but will do it with stuff that's refrigerated. I started meal planning about a month ago and it was working out reasonably well for me, so I think I'm going to go back to that to try and avoid waste, because I really hate food waste. Then it was the freezer's turn. So this was actually really quick because the drawers weren't exactly packed to begin with. It only took me about 10 minutes to pull everything out, clean everything down, and then put everything back. Anything I wasn't putting back, which was about 60% of the stuff, that all just went straight in the bin. After that, I tackled everything cupboard by cupboard. My husband's cupboard, he has a cupboard to himself, you know, just for coffee pods and teas and snacks and things, but it is a law unto itself. It is just mayhem, and he immediately told me that I couldn't dump anything from in there, despite the fact that some of the stuff hasn't been used since I KonMari'd the first time. That was a year ago. I removed a pair of headphones and a toy, and he eventually agreed to let go of one snack bar. I just had to put everything else back, but I was silently screaming in frustration. We also have a corner cupboard that's a little bit difficult to get to, but because all of our other cupboards are so small, this one is good for storing bigger things like boxes of cereal. I also use it for storing a lot of non-food related stuff, so kind of little DIY things, medicines, spare bulbs and batteries, all of those sort of things. Last year I did tackle those as part of the kitchen category. This time, no, leaving those for later. Didn't get rid of much food here either, just some old cereal and a tin of kidney beans that my husband finally decided to let go, but it looks a little tidier at least. Then it was the turn of the pasta drawer. Because it's already all in containers, I included things like Tupperware and other little food storagey things all into this subcategory. And this is probably the category where I made the most improvement, or certainly one of them. I threw away a lot of storage tubs. Day 2 then was reasonably quick overall. I tackled things like pots and pans, utensils, appliances, and baking stuff. I don't have a whole bunch of before and after pictures to show you here because honestly, I didn't get rid of that much at all. The only exception here was the baking subcategory. Miraculously, my husband decided to leave that up to me, so about 60% of that went. But look, you're all here for the Tabasco fiasco. I think I said in a recent video that we had 18 bottles, but we actually only have 15 bottles. Only. Because I forgot that he had given some to his friend, and also I secretly dumped one day because it had been open for ages. I also tackled all of the other condiments and spices and seasonings and sauces and oils and all of that jazz at the same time. But blah blah blah, Tabasco sauce. I started with 15 bottles and I ended with 15 fucking bottles of Tabasco sauce. Why? Shout out to a busy mom going crazy, who not only has a great name, but also was the closest in the Tabasco sweepstakes. She guessed that my husband would actually add 3 bottles to the pile. Next closest was Teresa White, who guessed that my husband would let go of 5 bottles. I don't know how nobody guessed that he would just keep all of the bottles. I mean, I kind of felt that deep down in my soul. I felt that. I dreaded it, but I felt that. The whole thing from start to finish took me just a little over 3 hours, and honestly I have no idea how, because it really felt closer to about 3 weeks. So what did I learn this time around? I learned that yet again, progress can always be made. No matter how great a job you think you did first time around, leave it a little while and then give it another go. I can almost guarantee you will get rid of more stuff. I also learned that some things will never change. Despite what Marie Kondo says, your family are not guaranteed to follow suit when they see the great strides that you are making. You cannot control other people. You just have to learn to accept that. If you know how, please tell me. Have I given up all hope? Pretty much, yeah. But I am still mourning my grandmother, so I'm just on a bit of a downer in general. As for advice, break it down into subcategories. So important, seriously. If you pull every single thing out of your cupboards all at once, you have only yourself to blame. This category is a marathon, people, not a sprint. Slow and steady. Stay hydrated. And finally, if you share the space with someone but you suspect there is going to be some friction, then go through everything yourself and then leave aside the things that don't spark joy for you. Then just ask the other person to come in and decide from that pile what they also would be happy to let go of. Or you could just do what I did and text them a picture. Because if the other person isn't on board and you go through everything together, it will take twice as long and the murder rate will skyrocket. And that's a wrap. This was a really tough category because it involved shared stuff. I really struggle with those categories. It's hard not to feel frustrated and defeated and like all of your efforts are just in vain. But progress is progress. Our kitchen is still about 15% lighter than it was before. I was going to tackle toys next, but to be honest, I think I need a much smaller category. I need a little quick fix to boost my spirits and so that I don't feel like this is all just completely pointless. I haven't figured out what that category will be yet, so stay tuned. I'm also thinking of uploading a kitchen tour. You all seemed to really like the little closet tour that I did a while ago because I think it's a more realistic and relatable closet. So I'm thinking of doing the same for my little kitchen. Let me know in the comments below if that is something that you would be interested in. As usual, thumbs up if you liked the video and subscribe if you haven't already and you want to follow my KonMari journey. I'll have my KonMari playlist linked in the description box below, so you can go there, check out all my other videos on the topic, and I will also link my KonMari checklist. It is 5 pages long, full of good stuff. Until next time, gur míle maith agaibh agus feici mé sibh sigalua. Slán!